hurting. Alright. Hello YouTube, it is Sarah back with another update. It has been 2 weeks and I have had way less items of projects to show you. I am going to make a little note right quick, or a few little notes right quick, just because I go off of what I've done. Wow. So this is going to be a little sad in a way. That's such a weird number. Okay. Since I go off of what is based on my planner every day I write, so this is a 5-year monthly planner that I found on Amazon, and every day I write down what I've worked on, not what I'm going to work on. I tried the whole what I'm going to work on and I didn't like that, so I write what I'm going to work on. I'm sorry it was a little blurry, but you don't really need to see all that because it's been a boring 2 weeks for me. I worked on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only worked on 5 things over this 2 weeks. I did have a good bit of progress on some stuff, but I only worked on 5 things. So the first thing I'm going to show you that I worked on, and I kind of had to take a break on it. I was hoping to get it done for Mother's Day, but I got really tired of it, and then I really wanted to finish something else that is so close to being finished, and he's been kind of taking over all the stitching time. So first things first is Let's Hope by Ursula Michael. Ooh. Let's see, there you go. So I was able to do more up here in this area, and I did start down in here some. I guess I should go that way. Down in here I did a good bit, and I started the H-O-P. Looking at it from behind is a little weird, but I definitely did up here. And so this is close to being as high as it will go. I think I've got just a few more words up here, but it will not go much higher than that. So that's been really fun. It's also been really fun to have this scroll frame and the other one. They're my two, so far, my 2 favorite scroll frames, and I will probably order another set of them because I really liked them. And I'm actually kind of curious to see how, like, what project I can fit on here. I know I can fit the my memorabilia that I have started. I think I can fit it on this big one, and I'm hoping I can because I would like to do that. Since I had already started beating that one, I would like to work on it more and see if I could do it and have it on the scroll frame so I won't crush the beads, because I can't work on it in a hoop, and I'm more of a hoop girl than anything. Even though you'll see some Q-snaps, I'm not a fan of those much anymore, but that is okay. Alright, next thing I did was Moth to a Flame. She is still in the hoop, so sorry I'm not taking her out. I'm going to try to see if you guys can see the mock-up of her. Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see her. So this is what Moth to a Flame looks like. I started in the bottom left corner. We'll never do it again. This was also like these little baby tiny margins were of the learning years in the beginning. So I am trying to work on just focusing on this page, and I'm about halfway through it now. So I'm just kind of going color by color and working up, and as you can see, I am a front start and ender with waist thread, so that will all get worked out and will all get taken out at the end. I have been really enjoying doing like color completing in my page recently, but this project kind of lends a little bit easier that way than parking, especially since I'm not used to parking up, which is why some things are parked over here, but that will not be the case anymore once I do that, because I am going to be working these 2 columns up, all the way up, and then I'm going to go over to the next, because I think there's 4 columns in total. Let's see if I can find out real quick. No, there are 5 columns. So, but these 2 that I'm working right now, they're going to go all the way up to the top, and then I'm going to scoot over to the next one and I'll work my way across and down kind of thing. I am definitely not a bottom-up starter, and I won't do that again. I have learned over my years, full coverage, I generally start like you read a book, top left, go to the right, left, go to the right, or left, go down kind of thing, but it has to be at the top first. Generally, if I'm going to start that way. I have done some center starts, and I'm not mad about those. At first, I kind of was like, I don't really care, I don't like them, they're not great, but when I found some that were pretty handy, like to start in the middle versus one that I did start in the middle when I was first testing it out, it didn't really lend itself to that being that type of project for me. So that one is a little hard. However, I did finish the entire middle page, so I have more of a structure to kind of begin to go down and then go up a little bit, or go up and then come back down. So it's like I have sorry, I know that's not something people like to hear. So I have kind of a more structured area to start from, but then I have 2 others that kind of lend themselves to going out and around. One is actually a definite ornament picture, so I wanted it to sit in the middle of my fabric, and then the other is a big daisy, so it kind of started with one color and gradiates out. So I know I'm talking to myself, sort of. It looks like I'm talking to myself. It's okay. Don't be weird. The usual commentary from the little needy brat, as usual. However, so Moth to a Flame is a 1/1 on 28 count. I forgot to tell you that Let's Hope is 2/2 on 28 count. Moth to a Flame, 1/1 on 28 count, and it is full cross. I do have a good chunk of full cross projects, believe it or not, even though like I have been trying to make sure most of my started projects are not full cross, because sometimes full cross can take a majillion years. But I digress. Moth to a Flame. I worked on it for 3 days. I did not tell you that I worked on Let's Hope for if I count the last day that I recorded, which was the 6th, I worked on it for 4 days. Moth to a Flame I worked on for 3 days. And I completed 1,111 stitches. And yes, I stopped there purposefully because I debated stitching on it for a 4th day because I really want to finish that page before I take it out of the hoop, before I go to another, like, focus on page finish on another full coverage piece. But my poor little heart just said, you need to stop there. It has to be there. It's a sign of some sort to your brain and a sign of some sort to your heart, and you need it to be there. Because as we all know, 11/11 is the, like, make-a-wish time. Something really sunk in, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't take it off of those numbers. It has to stay there until I record. It just has to. So, pardon me while I stretch my neck. So it stayed there, and I moved on to something else and worked happily on something else because I just could not make myself change those numbers. When I ended with those, I got to 7.04%. So we are kind of ticking away at that one. It's not like the biggest piece I own, but it is not exactly a small piece. She's still fairly large in her own way. I'm very interested to see how this will come out though, because this chart, I had started stitching this when there was the whole issue with the DMC 09 color, and I think I got lucky because I ordered all of my threads for this one in particular at one go, so I got the entirety of the threads for 09 with this one, and so I have like an abundance of the right color of 09, which is the brown. So that is going to be interesting to see, but either way, let's move on. Otherwise she could take up the entire show, and it wasn't even her 2 weeks that she got. Next thing I worked on, that I've been trying to work on it a little bit because I totally thought this would be like the next thing I finished, and I was, for some reason, I can sit and work in a couple threads on it here and there, and then I have to just put it down. I was not gravitating towards this, and that is the Old Rugged Cross by My Big Toe. Ooh, there, I think you can see that. There you go. And so I worked on this for 1 day. I think I added in, I did a little bit down here. I definitely worked on the top border lines here, and this is as far over as it goes, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to start bringing this green border back that way so it'll be easier to count, and I'll probably do the same, go this way as far as it goes once I finish the words over here, and then that way it'll be easier to bring that all the way in. But I did do that, and I also worked on the word crown down here. So this side is almost completely stitched as far as it goes, and that's not too terribly bad. It's not big. It's really not that big. I just can't for the life of me sit and just complete it. It's just not. So I have two from this company. I have 2 from my big toe. Anybody who knows me, yes, I am a Christian. I do believe in God. This kind of project, though, is not my aesthetic. I am more drawn to the fantastical type items, and I mean, obviously Moth to a Flame, she's a little bit on the like fantastical, risque, dark kind of thing. That is my personality in a nutshell. That has always been my personality, and hence why there is a lot of fantasy, dragon, that kind of thing. It's just, I won't say mermaids because I'm not really a big fan of mermaids, and I'm not the biggest fan of unicorns. Oh my word, offend people. It's just not me. I definitely love dragons. I love horses. I love woodland creatures. That is just who I am. Definitely give me a dragon. Give me a phoenix. Give me a griffin. Give me an elf, a mage, a witch, any of those things. And I'm golden. But something about mermaids and unicorns, they're not my favorite thing. I do have mermaids, and I do have a few unicorn pieces, but if you will notice, none of them are being stitched right now. So they're just not, they grasped my attention enough to buy, but so far they have not pulled on the heartstrings to get fabric and work on them. Anywho, next up was God Shed His Grace by the Cross Stitch Studio. So I have the wonderful big old boy. Now I have completed a page. Ooh. Okay, I thought something went awry over there. So I have the big boy. I've completed a page. Or I should say big girl. She is definitely a big girl. She is stitched 2 over 1/10 on 28 count. I think this is, I did not go with white fabric. This is Whisper. 28 count Whisper Lugana, because I did not want white fabric. I just wanted something a little bit different. So this is kind of like a neutral grayish tone. This is where she is. Now I am stitching her in Royal Rose method across a page, not across the entire project. So I have finished page 1, and I've done the top row so far of page 2. We are heavily in some clouds up in here. Now I am kind of enjoying the fact that I think page 3 is starting to lighten up the clouds, and the sun rays are going to start coming through there. But we are definitely doing some things. So now I don't know, I don't have any issues. I don't really have any issues with lines when I do Royal Rose or do any kind of things like this. So I don't know if that's just me. I don't think that I'm getting any warping doing tent stitch, and I didn't used to like doing tent stitch on 28 count, but I think I've kind of managed to figure out my tension on it a little bit better, so that's been fun. Now you can tell I am heavily parking with this, and I am carefully only parking into the bottom or over into the next row this way, and that's it. I am gridding as I go with a Bohan chalk pencil, and I grid just enough to do my row and to park underneath, and then I go. Yes, I am still talking, and I am not talking to you. I know. I know. Why are we being this way? It's okay. You just go night-night. You just go night-night. That's right. That's right. You just go night-night. Now, anybody who knows anybody, I think this project is, if I am not mistaken, it is 15 pages wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, if I could count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 15 pages wide. I'm only on the second one. So your girl got a long way to go. Anywho, I really do love this one. I love the colors. I love the picture. I hemmed and hawed about doing the smaller version, doing the crops, but it cropped out parts that I really liked. So I could have done my own version of a crop, but I just didn't want to do that. And by the time I had bought these was when I discovered Artisy had some, and I was committed by that point. So here we are. Anywho, I did 800 stitches, which completed this bit, and that's all my fabric. As you can see, that's a lot of fabric, right? So that put us at 1.18% completed on God Shed Us Grace. For those of you who don't know what that looks like, this is what it looks like. It's a beauty. It's so pretty, but it is so big. And so that brings me into the fifth and final thing that I worked on that has just kind of taken over my life, as I'm trying to get it finished before the 25th of this month, and that is Yoda by Dimensions. This be he. Yeah, he's kind of just taken over my life recently. I have literally worked on him. This is how much he's taken over my life. I will show you, or I will tell you. I have worked on him for 9 days. 9 days straight. Anybody who knows me or knows anything about me, while I put this back in here, knows that generally I think the longest period I have worked on a project, not including this one, was 5 days at one time, because that was all I could handle. For some reason, this one is a 9-dayer. This is the longest I have worked on something. Yes, that is threads from him. I was working on him today. Pardon the needle just kind of sticking there because I was working on him. Oh, I need to roll him a little bit so you guys could see all of it. I was trying to get through the bit at the top. Now he is on my other scroll frame. So here he is. Let's see if I can get this to be a... If this could be my screenshot, this would be amazing. You know what? I may just have to pull a picture of him and put him as my screenshot. Wouldn't that be awesome sauce? So if I leave this here long enough, hopefully it will get grabbed, but I have almost completed all of the actual like full crosses. As you can see, I was working up here on him today and over here because that's more filled in. His face is completely stitched. I just have to add in all the details on him for his face. I have started doing some back stitching around in here and around his neck. I still have a bit left over here, and of course I've got some stitching left to do in here. and then I can start doing lots of back stitching. Well, I say lots, it's really not that much. I've already completed 2 colors of back stitching on him. I'm not, oh, pardon me, it's late here. I'm not very worried. I think I have, like, let's see, I have a gray, a light gray, and a brown. Like, full crosses color-wise, I think I have 3. And then I have a few others in half stitch, but not a whole lot. I don't have I have just a handful of symbols left to complete, and I've just been kind of color completing by symbol on him as well. He is on 2/1 on 14 count, and well, for the majority of everything as far as the full crosses go. The half stitches vary. So he is almost completely stitched, and he is my pride and joy right now. He has been, he was the first thing I picked up when I was struggling, and when I was wanting to try to do something new that didn't have any old memories attached. He has been with me through my struggle right now, and I will probably cry once he's done. I have shed tears over him. This fabric has had tears land on it. It just, the struggles of life have been in this piece, and I'm not upset with that. I do not wish it to be any other way for this piece, and I will be able to look back at it and just go, wow, I did this during a time I was really struggling, and a time that everything just was falling apart. But yeah, he has really been my big thing, and I definitely would love to have him done. If I could have him done before the 25th, I'd be grateful, because that's when the frosted pumpkin starts for the new Stitchalong that they have, the Castle Homecoming one starts. But if he's not, he is definitely going to be finished this month. I'm gonna say that because there's still like two weeks, a week and a half, yeah, week and a half left of this one. And I mean, I have been able to stitch this dude's entire head, which there's a lot of stitching in his head. I mean, not just his entire head. I almost stitched the entire, like, right left side of this whole project, and almost got all of his robes and all of the everything done in just like a week. So I'm not really, or 2 weeks actually, but mainly a week was when he was stitched. Pardon me. It's 9:45. I'm exhausted. We go to bed early around here, as by that thing down there is the ruler of the bedtime, because she's spoiled. But yeah, he's definitely gonna be my greatest thing that I will finish over the course of everything. I know I had it finished last month. I'm praying I can have this one done and have this finished this month. That will put me halfway to the same amount of finishes I had last year, and this would be a start and a finish in the same year, which would be exciting. And since I started him in February, I think that would only be a couple months. 3 months? 4? I don't remember. I'd have to... Don't remember. Let me see. Let's see. Where did I start Yoda? You know, I don't. Well, I'm going with I started it in February. I'm not exactly sure when, but that's when he shows up in my shows up on my calendar. So we're going with that. Gosh, I don't realize how many times I do stitch in a month. It's really ridiculous. I have not missed a day. Well, no, I take that back. I did miss one day where I didn't stitch in this 2 weeks. I usually miss 1 or 2. So with all the stuff that goes on in my house, I work, I come home. I work 3 days a week. For those of you who don't know, I work 3 days a week. I am a bakery. Well, I won't say bakery. It is bakery, but it's more restaurant-y than anything else. So I am a opener of a restaurant. So that makes me have to wake up at 5:15. I get there at 6, and then I work until 11 o'clock. So I work 5-hour shifts as an opener to a restaurant 3 days a week. Sometimes 4, but it's mostly just 3 days a week. And then with all the things going on at home, I come home and I get lunch for me, sometimes for my mother if she is not feeling up to it with everything that she's going through since she's dealing with her chemo treatments. So there is that. So I do that. I do the dishes here. I do the dishes at work. I do the dishes here a lot of times. So I'm constantly cleaning dirty dishes, cleaning up the kitchen, cooking dinner. If it's the weekend, it's like breakfast, lunch, dinner sometimes. If there's a recipe for something that I think my mother will enjoy, it's like I have to make it and see if it's freezable, if it's like portionable and freezable in a way. So I have muffins frozen in our freezer right now. I have granola bars that I just found out she can't have because of the honey. So that is going to the rest of the family, which is fine. It's still something. I wasn't really thrilled with that recipe anyway because it's overly sweet and tastes very medicinal from the honey to me. But that's just me. It's a great recipe though. Works really good. If you are interested in figuring that out, I could share that with you if you'd like. But so I do all that. Sometimes I do their laundry if my father does not get to it first. I do again, I do sweep the floors in the house. I mop the floors in the house if my father doesn't get to it first. The kitchen, though, is pretty much my space, so that place has to stay clean. And that place is very hard to stay clean when there's just a bunch of everything going on right now. Especially just, yeah, when there's a bunch of everything going on and you just want to have time to yourself. It's hard. It's hard. But yeah, so yeah, that's just a tidbit about me if you wanted to know. If you didn't, I'm sorry. You got to know anyway. So yeah, I am definitely hoping that I can complete this one before the next project gets started, which is going to be the Castle Homecoming from Frosted Pumpkin whenever the first part comes out. I'm hoping I can kind of keep up with that one because I forget how many glues are in there, but it's not small. And I actually ordered my fabric for Phoenix Queen. My picture got messed up. But I did order my fabric. I can't speak nowadays. My brain doesn't work. Anywho, I ordered my fabric for this, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. I'm gonna get it in the mail, and I'm going to have such a hard time not starting her because I've got a Nora Corbett under my bed that's all like kitted, and this one is practically kitted sans like 2 beads, and it was missing the fabric. But I am like thinking once that fabric comes in, I'm gonna be like, pin, go, we're doing it. We're gonna have to do it because I feel like I picked the best fabric and I cannot wait. However, once I get to like the beading area on her, I'm gonna have to finagle it because one of those beads I requested, so I had to request them to notify me when they come in. One of them came in, I got notified, and the minute I went to go get it, they were gone. So either I've got to figure out where I can get these beads, and I definitely have to figure out about the other set because they did not come in, or I've just got to be like so quick when they come in. But I jumped on that fabric real fast because that one I was waiting to hear about it coming in because I was trying to be patient. I almost ordered the linen in the same color, but I didn't want linen. I don't mind stitching on linen, I just don't like the way it feels in my hands. So if the kit already comes with linen, that's a different story. I will use it. If it doesn't, even weave is kind of my thing. Granted, Yoda is on Ada, 14 count Ada. Not my favorite thing to work on, but he doesn't have any quarter stitches, so that's a plus. He doesn't have any fractional stitches, and so that makes it a wee bit easier to deal with. Of course, I don't mind that he's relatively simple to see, which is why. Yes, I'm still talking. What is your problem? You don't need more cookies. You need. You are such a little brat. Anywho, yeah, I am definitely gonna be working on him tomorrow. Saturday. I'm gonna be working on him on Sunday while this video uploads. You will see this video Sunday, May 21st, even though I am recording on the 20th. It's just the way I do it. Don't know. Anyway, I am going to get off here because I think I have rambled well enough that I don't need to anymore. So I'm just going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you in 2 weeks. See you then.